Hello, my name's Philip Lynch.
Hi, I'm Darius Williams.
Hi, I'm Masako Pizza.
I'm Nikki Vivica.
I'm William Zappa.
I'm Ursula Jovich.
And I'm Paul Capsis.
And we are...
Together by our powers combined.
Describe what happens in the Lewis Trilogy in one sentence.
What do you think, Darius?
If I had to describe the Lewis Trilogy in one sentence, I would describe it as an epic tale about Australiana and what it means to grow up as both a creative and an empath.
Oh.
Interesting.
Got something in ya.
I do.
It's almost impossible to say it in a sentence. How would you say it, Phil?
I'd say that it is a treatise on experiencing the people that you grow up with and how that influences you. Yeah, and we get to see it across a whole life, I guess, as well.
I think one of the interesting things about it, like doing it in the trilogy format, is it sort of the later experiences he has with people recontextualize some of the people from earlier. Like you see sort of themes and similarities in the characters he comes across in different stages of his life, and he gets to, I think, understand people more and more as it goes on. Like early in the trilogy, people are so weird to him that he thinks they're like aliens, and like towards the end, he's just like, it's more about the other people. The show than about his inner experiences. He's just like more involved in their lives and caught up in their worlds.
I'd say truthful Australian storytelling.
Any other offers for a sentence before we close this one out?
Terrible. Mine would be boy meets girl.
That's it.
Doesn't pursue girl, regrets it for the rest of his life. But that's just one through line.
Boy meets girl, it doesn't work out.
Doesn't
It's
work
a
out.
repeat theme.
Repeated theme throughout
For multiple
life.
characters.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one little through line, but it's so obviously it's so much more complex than that.
Who is your favourite character to play throughout the Lewis Trilogy and why? Let's start.
Who's my favourite? I love them all. Look, Grandma, because the full kind of scope of where she starts and where she ends up, I feel like I have a really wonderful kind of story trajectory. And I get to play a little bit more with their vulnerability. In the last few shows anyway. I'm starting to find more of that vulnerable kind of side to her and her,
Paul Capsis.
Roy from Cosy, because I think he's the closest to me, I think. I know, that's really worrying. Seeing the play. And I love all my characters. I love Clary because he demands something that is right out of, but so is Roy, they're really challenging roles, but Roy, that's it. What about you, Darius? Who's your favourite?
It's probably a mix between Doug from Cosy and Wesley from This Much Is True. The second and third play in the trilogy. Probably because I like Doug because it's a gift, and I think when I found out I was doing it, I was terrified and so excited, and then only until I got into rehearsal and started reading Wesley was I terrified mostly, and then only really until now do I feel like I'm kind of where I think and am hoping to be. I'm just privileged to be able to have more time than this. So that's my answer.
I think my favourite character overall is probably Ruth from Cosy, because she just has so many extremely well written lines, and she's a very even though she's quite a quiet character in a lot of ways, she's a very well developed character. There's a lot going on. There's a lot going on in her sort of internally throughout the process of the play. There's a lot of things about her which I think are very well observed as a character.
I love Dulcie. She has my heart. Yeah, she's a joy to play.
In Summer of the Aliens.
In Summer of the Aliens. I was getting there. In Summer of the Aliens. And I think now for where we are in the run, I'm warming up to Julie. I was a bit scared with her, but I think she's definitely coming into her own. But yeah.
In Cos.
In
You were getting
The
to it.
problem
The
is
second
with
show.
Julie, she's like,
Trilogy.
she's kind of cool and she's
Yeah.
so out of place.
But what do you all think about the
Yeah.
idea that we're doing such a long run that we are, or we should, it might be, you know, we're finding things still,
Yeah.
right? And our
Yeah.
characters develop and grow and
You have to.
find new dimensions and even ways of speaking maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
She's
Gosh,
really
for
hard
me it's
today.
night to
Yeah.
night, audience to audience. It really depends what they give us. I mean, that's the thing about audiences, if depending on how they react as well, whether we, what kind of show we do.
What's
It's hard
Roy's-
to avoid that.
What's Roy's line about?
I feed off
If you
I feed off audience reactions. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. That is truth telling right there. How did Louis Nowra know? How did he know?
I think this,
okay.
it's not really an answer to the question, but apropos where the conversation is going, and that is that with these three plays we had a very short rehearsal period. I mean, ideally it would have been another 4 weeks, which would be a sort of standard rehearsal time for those plays. So the idea of discovering stuff
That's right.
as the run continues, it's essential that we do as we settle in and we sort of go, oh right, okay, this is, there's the aspects of playing the audience, you know, how each night the audience is different, how finely tuned can we make it, but it's also discovering stuff within our own characters and how they relate to the other characters. So all that,
Which other character, other than your own, from any of the plays, would you like to play? Who gets to play the best characters? There's two questions there.
That's very
Hot.
Right.
That's real hot. That's
That's confronting.
I feel like we should preface this by saying that we all love how each other performs the characters that they do.
Can we have like a little graphic before our answers where it's just like a question mark but it's on fire? It's just like
Ah.
I would love to play Roy.
Man,
I think Roy would be a very fun character.
Roy
to
would
play.
be a fun
Yeah.
Roy.
But Venus has some really beautiful.
Hello.
She does.
Wow.
Yeah, she's got some amazing
That
moments.
wonderful scene you have with William. It's
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
no discussion,
No
just
discussion.
simply one word. Who is the cheekiest cast member? Speak.
Massey.
Yeah.
Full cheek.
Nancy, please.
Yeah, doesn't have one because it's
Ooh,
Massey.
next.
Nikki.
Oh,
That's a good offer.
Paul. That's two for Paul.
Paul.
Oh.
Darius.
Oh, there
Three
you go.
for Paul.
Okay, next. Who is?
Three for
Oh, just point or say their name. Who is the sweetest cast member?
Oh.
There's a one.
Why are you all looking at me?
Again, no words.
Look,
Ursula.
it's a whole. Everybody is agreed, and
Who's the nastiest?
Who will never work again? No.
this is
Never work
this
with
is a very serious
Oh.
question.
Oh, okay.
Which cast member brings the best snacks?
William.
You!
It's always
Right, shucks, guys.
Is that even written on
Great.
there? Did you?
That's what it is. No, that's
You write the question to get the recognition.
Yes, thank you. Evan.
We've had
You've
figs.
reminded me I haven't bought anything for a
Figs.
couple of weeks.
No.
So that's why. Okay,
Figs,
I'll feel
You're
plums.
slacking.
I'm excited for these
Hot
questions.
seat, hot seat, hot seat, hot seat. Yeah. Okay, which of the 3 plays in the Lewis trilogy is your favorite? Throw it to you, William Zappa.
Being the narrator in Some of the Aliens and This Much Is True, the involvement is what's sort of challenging harder. It's also a thrilling thing, and with This Much Is True, narrating and then being in the story, but the difference is that with This Much Is True, he is in the story as himself. So he's narrating and then stepping back into to be part of the scene as himself, which is, it's quite different to the first one. And with Cosy, as some people have said, the social worker Justin that I play in Cosy is probably at least as mad as the asylum patients. So there we are.
There you go.
I actually went through a period where I thought, is Justin actually just another inmate? Like,
Definitely between Cosy and Some of the Aliens. For me, I enjoy Summer because of its depth and breadth in the lore of the place, I guess. All of the characters are very described, and I love how solid they are and that world is built. But Cosy, not that it's any less deep, but it happens in this short little period in an asylum. We get to know these people, we get to know them deeply, and then rush off from them. And that brings a different sort of experience. It's also definitely more comedic, definitely more upbeat, and funny, and really fun to do because of that.
I'm also on the Cosy bandwagon. I love it because I love how the opera's used in it. I enjoyed opera as an art form, but I just once we started adding the bits of the operatic music into the play, and you can see how the scenes are written to feed off the energy of the music. So when you play the music from the scenes they're doing, and it just adds this extra dimension to it.
Yeah.
And I love that as a writing thing. It's really using that source material. So I enjoy that.
Next question.
Next question.
You've been working as an ensemble for many months. Many months. So tell us, who has the most interesting pre-show rituals?
Oh.
You can be honest
that's the
about
one that
mine.
we do.
That is, we all.
3, 2, 1. Ow! Usually there's no 3, 2, 1.
I did it in
And usually Paul
absentia.
gets it.
For those who are not
Usually
with us
Paul's in on it.
today,
He's not today.
the spirits that lurk around our heads every
We can
night.
talk about.
I talk to the people in the pre-show.
Tom's
I talk
not here.
to the spirits.
We can say anything we want about Thomas Campbell's
And
pre-show
Tom.
ritual, and Tom has no.
Hi, Tom.
Isn't it a bad
Thomas's pre-show ritual is to drop some piece of bizarre goss about the theatre industry.
Oh,
He has he's full of so many
It's
stories.
It's true. He's a well of information.
Allegedly.
He's a font. Thomas, if you're watching, you're a font. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
I do think part of the difficulty that we experience in terms of pre-show rituals is lack of space.
You gonna say that?
The dressing room is tiny. It's full of costumes and bodies.
Mm.
And this space, when you get 8 people trying to exercise or stretch or vocalize or whatever it is, it's really, really difficult. So,
So we're really thankful to all of the donors at Griffin.
Yes!
Helping with the renovation that's
Yeah,
to come.
Absolutely.
So what is it like acting in not just 1, but 3 plays every Saturday and Sunday?
A lot.
It's exhausting. Like
It's exhausting.
actually,
Yeah.
there's some like I love doing that. I actually really love the Saturday and Sunday shows. Because I don't know why, but I do love doing them.
Yeah.
But they're so exhausting, and by Monday, that's all I do is sleep on Monday.
yeah, Monday's recovery day.
Monday's recovery day, and then
Yeah.
Tuesdays, get ready to start again.
yeah, Tuesdays, get your week sorted.
There is something thrilling about it though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
The
chaos
3
of it.
Just
makes
doing
sense. The audience are completely different.
Yeah.
They are so different to the individual nights we do. When we do the 3, from the very moment we start, they're there and they're with us and they carry us.
You're in for the long haul.
Yeah.
What do you do to wind down and implement self-care after big show days?
Great.
In any role that we do, we can't escape ourselves.
Yeah.
So so there's always an element of us in them, as well as them kind of creeping in and becoming more. They become us as well. We become them.
I think that's it. There's a bit of yourself which you find and exaggerate to make the character.
Yeah.
And so then that's what comes out.
Yeah.
So I watch the Golden Girls, cup of tea, the Golden Girls, and sometimes like a snack or a late dinner.
Journal and a cup of tea, I do.
Oh,
And ice cream.
I guess we go off at the end of whatever the play is, and we come back on for the curtain call, and as I come back on, it's like this skin is shed. So I'm here, and whatever the emotional thing was in that, the last scene, for example, Summer of the Aliens, and towards the end of This Much Is True, there's a lot of stuff going on, walk off stage, claps, come back on, the skin is shed, and I'm standing there as William Zappa, enjoying the smiles and the applause.
So that's like a de-roll. That's like a de-rolling.
It's sloughing off the skin.
Is
Is that the word? Or sloughing. Sloughing off.
It's a mental. It's like a mental thing,
Yeah.
which is really good. I think it's useful.
And then there's a very nice glass of wine.
Oh,
To
yes.
Proud of myself.
Beautiful.
Has anything unexpected, outrageous, or hilarious ever happened on stage or behind the scenes when the show has been on?
The balloons.
Oh, the balloons are troublemakers. The balloons. Thank you for your answer. What's the one thing you'll miss when this experience is over?
The balloons.
The balloons.
The money. I know. The people.
I'm gonna miss the history of this beautiful building.
And licking the floors.
And I'm gonna miss Ursula Jovich.
All right, next. What's the one thing you definitely won't miss?
I won't miss standing, waiting to come on, thinking, Jesus, what the hell do I say next?
Oh my God.
yeah.
That's the same.
Yeah.
I won't miss that at all.
Yeah.
I won't miss looking at the run sheet backstage, because I'm still looking at it because I'm like, where am I?
Me too,
Yeah.
I went, they'll become.
Nikki.
Quick changes.
Oh.
Quick changes. Yeah.
These are
There's
a
a
lot
lot
of
of
changes.
changes in the show.
Massey, go.
Go there.
Go
No, I
there.
don't have it. I don't have one.
You won't.
I'll miss it all. Even they've got it in the bags. No, that's
Oh.
rough. What
Darius.
maybe the fog machine. Sometimes,
Yeah.
sometimes coming
Yeah.
through, I get a blast
Yeah.
of it and it messes with my contacts.
Oh.
Messes with my
Hey.
lungs.
Trade secret.
Darius.
BTS. I'm not gonna miss choking on cigarette smoke halfway through a scene.
Oh.
I'm so
Choking.
obviously not meant to be choking. But all of the status I have in that scene is
Marcelo, do you have an answer for us now?
No, I don't think I do. I'm running my lines when I'm not here, or the dreams.
Wow.
I
Oh,
wrote
the dreams.
why did you dream the show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why should someone come and see the Lewis Trilogy at Griffin Theatre Company?
Apart from the fact that they're 3 fantastic plays, and one of the wonderful things has been the way the plays have been edited down and then woven together. So it is a trilogy because they were 3 separate plays. This is now a trilogy. Following that journey through, I think, is a deeply satisfying thing. But the other reason is because this is the end of the Griffin as it has been since it started, and it's going to be completely new. This is an historic moment in Australian theatre. And I think for an audience to share that moment, watching 3 fantastic plays, this fantastic group of actors, in the last phases of this beautiful historic site of Australian theatre, in this building. This is part of theatre history in this country.
Yeah.
This place, which has been the Sydney home, certainly, of new Australian work, and has had some extraordinary things done here that have gone on to international success as well.
I think that was really beautiful.
Yeah.
William. I think that said everything.
Absolutely everything.
About this question.
So,
Come and see it, your mum.
come and see
It's
it.
not going to be here forever.
Come and see why the pillars are a problem.
Come and see why the pillars are a problem. Come be a part of theatre history.
Yeah.
Come on the last day and get a backstage tour.
Oh,
Maybe.
Philip Lynch.
Oh, no, I
Philip
didn't-
Lynch
I
is
didn't agree
handing
with
out
that. I didn't agree. I think
free
that's a really
backstage
meant
passes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright.
Bye.
Yeah.
See you.
Catch
See
up.
you. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Shall we clap out?
Yeah.
Ready? And 1, 2, 3.